Hey, it's Katherine from Lavish Craft, and last time we talked, I introduced you to my brand wardrobe analogy to help illustrate to you how the graphics that are created for your business and make up your brand can be working for you and basically be the clothing that your business wears. It's a pretty appropriate analogy. Last time we talked about how your brand basics are like the essentials and that they get used selectively as we build out outfits or marketing materials, whether that's your website, your business card, or whatever it is that we're creating. But we have more to talk about on this topic, like essentially how you would be able to put your gym clothes into the same wardrobe because they serve completely different purposes, right? You're not going to be wearing your gym clothes to a business meeting, kind of like how you wouldn't wear your business meeting clothes to the gym, but both are serving a purpose, and similarly your business might have different purposes that it needs to serve or situations it needs to fit in on, and your regular clothing or branding is not going to be quite appropriate. So this really comes into play when we're talking about your services, because sometimes it's a really good idea to brand your service a little bit different than your overall parent brand. It's essentially creating a sister brand for your service, because let's face it, each service should be solving a very specific problem, and the person or the audience who is going to get the most benefit out of that might be a little bit different than your overall audience. And I'm not saying you need to build a new website for each service. That would be a bit extreme. I'm saying, we're probably going to be looking at building out a sales page for that service, which is something that I would recommend doing anyway. We'll talk about that another time. But basically, the sales page can be basically a little sister brand that can be related to your business. So let's talk a little bit about when you might want to be branding your service differently than your overall parent brand. The first reason I'm going to talk about is maybe you want to branch out into a different niche. All of us entrepreneurs always have a million ideas to, maybe try out the next best thing, or try out this or try out that, and how can we make money doing that? And it's just kind of how we're wired. So I totally get it if you want to try working in a different niche or with a different audience. Branding a service separately would be a great way to just kind of test the waters and decide whether or not you want to make a whole nother business about it, or just keep it as, that one service that you are specializing in that niche. I do hope that it is at least somewhat related to your parent brand, though, and the overall demographic that you're trying to reach anyway. Another really good reason for branding your service is if you're collaborating with another service provider. Neither of you wants to put the other person's brand on their website for a service, so it's really a good idea if you're working with someone. Maybe you've created a course, let's say you're a designer and a copywriter, and you combined your forces to create this amazing product to really serve your audience well, even better than you could alone. And in that case, you would probably want to brand that service on its own so that you can each share it and not be saying, hey, look, this is someone else's branding. It's really your branding combined. Another good reason for when you might want to be branding your service separately is if you're getting super high level or a bit lower level. Basically, this is where I'm saying, maybe you're going out to dinner or have a ball to attend. I don't know how fancy you're getting. Or maybe vice versa, you need to be a bit more laid back and go to the gym. I mean, just think about it. You don't have a million evening out outfits, nor do you have a million workout outfits, unless that's what you do. And finally, at least for this list, is to make your service about them. A lot of service providers start off business by branding to their name, which is just fine. I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but rather than creating this service and naming it as something that relates to you, make it relate to your customer or your audience who you're going to be helping, so that they can know right from the name what it is or whether or not it's going to help them. So what does this have to do with your brand wardrobe? Basically everything. Like I said, you have different clothes or brands for different events or situations, and each one is going to fit the situation or its respective situation better than just your main one. And I do want to just reiterate, you don't need to have a separate website to have a branded service. Okay, you don't need to go super crazy with this. It's just a little tweak here and there to your original branding, making it a little, something special, a little something different, but having the same kind of outfit. And if you have any questions about what I was just talking about in regards to your brand wardrobe, I would love to hear from you and help clarify things a bit more. Thanks for hanging with me, and I'll see you next time.